Good morning and welcome to the Above Ground Leadership Podcast, episode 2. Again, I'm Ray Broughton. First, I want to thank everyone for tuning in and for all the insight and input that we received for episode 1. Again, this will be a weekly podcast, and we'll come in here and we'll discuss various topics. We had 60 views on the page, on the video last week, and like 15, 16 subscribers. We'd like to get episode 2 to triple digits. Try to get in triple digits, and we're also like for everyone to go in there and subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss any of the content when it's posted. All right. So again, if you have any topics that you would like to discuss, or want to have guests on you, any questions you'd like, just PM me or message me, and we'll make that happen. All right. But now let's get to it. All right. So today's topic is going to be about success, right? And the funny thing about success is different for all of us, right? Success for me, success for you, maybe viewed different. However, it's certain things, and it's a process to obtaining that success. All right. The first thing I'll say about the process is that you got to take the stairs. There's no elevator. There's no elevator for success. And also, success is not a sport. You don't arrive. All right. There's no winner or loser. The failures are part of it. And I think that's one of the biggest things of our time right now. People want to skip the process. All right. You're going to learn more from failures. All right. You're going to learn more from failures because you'll go out and I'll relate this to a sport, but if you go out, if you win a game, probably don't go back and look at the film the same way as if you lost that game. All right. Because when you lose a game, you break it down, you try to figure out what went wrong. Right. So losing and failing is definitely part of the process. Right. Because failure not fatal. Right. Again, it's part of it. You just got to get out there and handle your business and learn from your mistakes and move on. Because again, in a game, it ends with a score and a winner or loser. With your success and with your passion, whatever your drive is, there's no score, right? You decide whether you really failed or not by quitting, right? And that's something that we want to talk about and avoid. But so the keys to success, we're gonna talk about 10 of them, right? We'll go through them. The first topic of the first number 1 would be setting goals. Right, setting goals would be 1. Number 2 would be your strong work ethic. 3 would be consistency. 4 would be discipline. 5 would be willing to sacrifice. 6 would be pursuit of knowledge. 7, the ability to learn. 8, never quit and a can-do attitude, very important. 9, have a clear purpose. And 10, taking risks, taking calculated risks. Okay, so we're going to go through here and we're going to talk about all of them. Setting goals. Now, setting goals is, I put that as 1, and these could be, again, there's no number, no numeric order for these, but setting goals is vital. I'm a big time believer in goal setting, accomplishing goals, and big goals, small goals, achievable, attainable goals. But you have to set stuff out in front of yourself to go get, to something to pursue. It's almost, think about if you was riding in the car and you got a GPS and you don't put an address in there. So you're really just out there driving, right? Your goals is your address. Your goals are your target. So kind of where you're headed in regards to what you're doing. And your goals is not all, it could be fitness. It could be personal, it could be educational, but whatever it is, you really, really, really need to put forth that time and set those goals. And you may have to write them down, right? Share with someone who will hold you accountable to them, right? Put them on your mirror, whatever you need to do, you set those goals and you really, and you really stick to them and you follow them. And then again, as we talked about, you may fail. The goal doesn't change, just your approach. You change your approach, you figure it out, and you keep going. All right. Secondly, number 2, we'll talk about your strong work ethic. All right. So after you got your goal established, you talk about your strong work ethic. You have to work. You have to work. There's nothing happens. I don't care what kind of plan you have, what kind of drive you have. It takes work. You have to get out there. You have to figure it out. You have to grind. You have to grind. I say this a lot to younger people, especially my kids. Work harder in your 20s and your 30s. That way you're not working as hard in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. All right. So you have to get out there and work, drive, people out there who's successful, who's made it at some point, right? They have to work. And I think one of the mistakes our younger people make, they see a lot of the end state, right? They see a lot of the end state. And the end state, yeah, that's nice, but it took a process for them to get there. It's a meme out there. I think I've posted it a couple of times. Every time I see it, I'll post it. And it shows the tip of the iceberg, and it shows the iceberg above the water. But below the level, you can see all the rest of the iceberg. But only people see is the tip. The beauty of the tip of the iceberg. But it's a lot of work that comes behind that. Okay. Number 3 would be consistency. All right, being consistent. And this here is important. And regardless of what your level is, your level of leadership, regardless of where you're working at or what you're doing, you have to be consistent. Your audio has to match your video. What you say has to match what you do. And what you do is way, 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 way more important. All right, and especially as a leader. All right, because people are always watching. Your subordinates, your children, they will do more of what you do than what you say, right? I don't, I've always prided myself as being a leader, the as you do leader. I didn't want to just live off, do what I say, right? Because that only is going to go so far. You got to lead by example, and your consistency is part of that. And so your consistency, whether it's a diet, whether it's your work ethic, whether it's your work performance, regardless of what you're doing, you have to be consistent. And not even with just physical things, your message has to be consistent, right? So if you set a standard, the standard has to be consistent. You have to get out here, set the standard, and live by it, okay? Because one thing for sure, we say in the Army all the time, the standard won't change, all right? The standard, we won't waver the standard, because the day you go out and you walk past a substandard, you create a new standard, okay? So your consistency is very important, all right? Number 4 is my favorite, all right? Discipline. Discipline, and when we talk about discipline, you have to be more disciplined than you are motivated, because there'll be some days you just won't be motivated, right? Me and my oldest daughter, we talked about this, and days you'll wake up and you don't want to work out. That's when your discipline has to kick in. Days you get up and you don't want to finish this project that you've been working on. That's where your discipline has to kick in. And so while it's good to be motivated, right? Motivation is great, all right? Don't get me wrong. I'll probably say with me, I'm probably motivated 90% of the time, but that 10%, that's what my discipline. And that discipline also leads into your consistency, all right? Because the more disciplined you are, the more consistent you'll be, all right? And then going back, and I'm gonna show you how these all feed into each other. Your discipline and your consistency ties in with your goal setting, because that's when you talk to other people, you'll tell your friends, your no BS friends, they'll hold you accountable. They'll be able to hold you accountable because you done shared this with them. So again, discipline is very important, something that we shouldn't shy from, right? And then it's not easy. I mean, writing this list and putting this list on paper and coming out and speaking about this list is the easy part. The hard part is actually getting out there and getting it done. All right. Number 5, willing to sacrifice. All right. So with success, you always have to give up something. All right. You have to give up something. Maybe some friends, maybe some sleep, some time. All right. But you have to give up something. You got to be willing to give it up. You got to be willing to sacrifice now, all right, to enjoy later. All right. You have to get out there and work and understand that it's a grind. You just get out and as you sacrifice, it's tough. It's not easy, but you got to understand why you're doing it. All right. You got to understand why you're doing it, the reason you're doing it, and you just get out here and make it happen. and understand also that the reason you're doing this is for your sacrifice. Okay, the reason you're doing this is for your sacrifice. Number 6, pursue knowledge. All right, always seek to learn. All right, pursue knowledge. Always seek to learn. You want to learn. All right. You think about your time in a career field. All right. You can sit in that place, but trust me, it's somebody coming behind you trying to replace you. Right. If you're a coach, right, it's somebody out there that's trying to replace you. If you're in marketing, there's somebody out there trying to be a better marketer than you. So you always got to seek to learn. Go to school, get education, get into these trades, learn all you can, because the day you stop learning is the day you stop growing. So you have to continue to learn and to grow. Okay. Number 7, the ability to listen. Now, that's very close to learning, right? But the ability to listen, it goes way beyond that, because you don't just listen to the people that you want to listen to. So that's why your circle is really important, right? Because you don't want just yes people, yes men, no, and women in your circle. You want people who will look you in your face and say, hey man, that's, what you're doing is not right. Or, and you got to be willing to take that. You listen to the criticism. You listen to the naysayers, all right, and you use it as fuel, right? But most importantly, you talk to and you listen to the people that's has success and that has failed in whatever you're trying to do, all right? Because that's really important, all right? Because you can get out there, they can give you nuggets, they can give you tips, and give you ways to avoid shortfalls that they may have ran into. And the people with success, they can give you tips that could help boost you and into whatever project you're working on. Okay. Number 8 is the can-do attitude and never quit. All right. All right. I'll say this: you got to believe. All right. Whatever you're trying to, in whatever endeavor you're trying to go after, you have to believe. You have to believe that you can make it happen. You can believe that it'll work, and then you can't be afraid of success. I know a lot of us, and I've said this before, that I believe young men, especially young men, we get out and we're afraid of success, because when you obtain that success, it comes a lot of pressure with it. All right, people, come some expectations that comes along with that success. Don't be afraid of that. Step out into your faith, step out and just go make it happen. Right? Can-do attitude. You just got to get up and go make it happen. I go into every job. I don't care, big or small. Any job I've worked into, I treated it like my dream job. Right? I got in there and I worked hard. And again, it's just that can-do attitude, and then never quitting. Listen, that's a non-negotiable. That's a non-negotiable. It's a reason you started. You got to understand why you started, and you look around. Whatever your why is, and we'll talk about that on the next one. But whatever your why, you got to believe in and never quit. All right. Number 9, have a clear purpose. Have a clear purpose. You got to know your why. When you know your why, the how don't matter. All right. You got to know your why. You got to have a purpose, and your why is going back to the GPS, right? So in setting your goals, that's your GPS, that's your address. Your why is the actual directions that's telling you how to get there. Okay. And every day you should, the days, your down days, when you're feeling less motivated and you have to go to your discipline and for that extra push, that's another time to look at your why. It could be your friend. It could be your family, a child. It could be a parent. It could be you, right? But whatever your why is, right? Whatever your push is, your purpose is, you need to really have a clear vision of that purpose, right? And once you do that, right? You'll be on your way. You'll be on your way. You'll have a clear purpose, and that, again, that's step number 9. All right. And the last step number 10, take risks. All right. And when I say take risks, it's not talking about being reckless. All right. It's just taking advantage of these 2 things you wake up with every day. You wake up with a chance, and you wake up with a choice. All right. And you get out, you get up in the morning, you got a chance to be great and a choice to be great. All right. And sometimes, you look the easy route, the safe route, you can do. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with safe and easy, but that opportunity that may change your life, right? It may come with a small risk. And when I say risk, again, I'm not talking about being reckless, right? I ain't talking about, putting all your money into one thing, but what I'm talking about is a smart, calculated risk that it takes some chance, right? It takes some chance, but again, you have to believe in it. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to go out there and make it. All right, so those are my 10 keys to success. Again, setting goals. Number 1, strong work ethic. Number 2, consistency. Number 3, discipline. Number 4, willing to sacrifice. Number 5, pursuit of knowledge. Number 6, the ability to listen. Number 7, never quit and the can-do attitude. 8, number 9, clear purpose. And number 10, taking calculated risk. All right. Again, there's no one answer. There's no cookie cut. At the end of the day, success is different for all of us, as I said in the beginning. But I believe that with those 10 steps right there, it'll put you on your way. It'll give you a baseline to start at. All right. It'll give you something that you could use as you on your pursuit to whatever your goal is. All right, set those goals. All right, set those goals. Get out. All right. Again, if you haven't already, subscribe. To the channel, like the video. I appreciate y'all's support. And let me know about what topics you would like to discuss next week. We'll probably have a guest on within a week or so, and probably for episode 3, maybe 4. But either way, we'll be here. Leaders lead. Y'all have a great day. Be great today.